this evening. I'm Megan McNay, and I just really appreciate you guys coming out to support me and hear all about my health journey and why nutrition is so important to me. So a little bit about me. I was chronically sick as a young child up through adulthood. And it really limited what I could commit to for my work life and my social life. And I had to say no to dinners and parties and weddings and so many things in my life. It impacted me with chronic illness and allergies and bad cramps. And this was up until about a year ago and a half, when I was introduced to Juice Plus. I told my friend I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. She told me about fruits and veggies in a capsule at a staff meeting, and it just clicked. And I really had to try this. What I noticed as I was taking Juice Plus was I didn't use as much pain medication. I've had more health for longer stretches of time, like the past 3 months, less cramps during periods, more energy. And now that I'm healthier, I can build stronger relationships with my friends. I can commit to vacations more frequently. I can go to important events to celebrate my friends and my family. And this to me is just priceless. I finally got my life back. And my friend Christina generously offered this product and the business opportunity to me. As a speech therapist, I'm at my best when I'm helping people. And after seeing how much improvement Juice Plus has done for my life and how can I keep this to myself? I can't stop sharing this with people. And I'm just, sick and tired of hearing more frequently that another friend of mine has cancer. And I know that sharing this with people will help them battle chemo and it'll make a difference in their recovery. And this is why I'm just really passionate about this lately. Even though I do well financially as a speech therapist, having the ability to make another source of income is such a blessing to me. This is really helping me have financial freedom to be able to go on vacation, go out to dinner with my friends without worrying about my budget, and covering the cost of my product. I am so blessed by what my health has done to improve my life. And thank you guys so much for letting me share. I'm going to turn this over to Christina.
Thanks, Megan. This is really fun. And you guys, like we said, we want to keep it kind of casual, but we are excited to share our journey in hopes that it really inspires you guys too. So my name's Christina, and I was introduced to Juice Plus about 8 years ago. I was pregnant with my second baby, and I heard that it was safe to take during pregnancy. And I was like, awesome. My first one was a disaster. I gained 75 pounds. I had preeclampsia. I had a liver dysfunction, and then an emergency C-section. So I knew that was so hard on my body. I could not possibly go through that again. I was also eating Rocky Road ice cream and potato chips every day. So go figure. So Juice Plus really did make sense to me. And then I heard that there was research behind it, and we're going to cover that a little bit later too. That was really important to me because as a physical therapist, as any medical professional, it is really important to know those things. And so that really perked my ears up. So since I started Juice Plus, similar to Megan, I have way more energy. My skin cleared up, and I had acne all over my face, my neck, and my back. So the back knee went away, which I knew it was more than just putting topical creams on my face was really affecting. There was something going on internally. I recover faster from my workouts, and I actually make better food choices. By no means am I perfect, because the Girl Scout cookies I ate right before this just attest to, like, there is still a lot of real life happening around us. But my husband did eventually jump on board about 6 months later. He refused at first because he really thought it was a prenatal. So he was not going to touch my prenatal, but he started to see changes in me. He saw another guy taking Juice Plus, and he was open to doing it. And his health transformation actually was even more powerful than mine. He is able to get rid of all of his allergy medications, and he had something for every orifice in his face. So eye drops, nasal spray, oral medication, and then an inhaler if it got really, really bad. And he also, about a year after taking Juice Plus consistently and cleaning up our eating, he no longer has the migraines that he would get like every other month, and that it would literally take him out of function, like daily life function, for days. And so that's precious time. And let's see, yeah, it literally gave us more time to spend with our kids. So just really quick, speaking about kids, after our second super healthy baby and pregnancy, we quickly had a third baby. We didn't know our bodies were working as effectively as they were. And so our 3 children are super healthy. They never miss a day of school for illness. We'll take them out for other reasons, but not due to illness. And we've only had 1 or 2 antibiotics in our house that I can remember. And so that's really important to me. And even just touching on, we had a conversation about cancer today. And it really is so beneficial to have a tool a solution to offer to people when they are going through really hard things like all this disease. And we work with special needs kids. And I think it's just so precious to know that this is safe for them as well. So like Megan, I initially started this business because I just wanted to get the best price for my product. And since my husband was going to get on the product too, we just, we needed to get a discount or get the best price for all the products that were coming into our house. And then I learned that if I shared it with a few friends and family, I could make a little bit of extra money. And so that's what I did. And I am so incredibly grateful that I said yes to the business, because just about 2 years ago, my husband stepped away from his corporate banking job due to a stress incident, and it was very sudden. And so we quickly, we just went down to one income very, very quickly. And so my Juice Plus check actually covered our mortgage month after month. It was very tight everywhere else, but to not have that stress that we could actually have a roof over our head. And, actually we continue to take our Juice Plus religiously, even during that really, really tight time in our life. It has just been incredible. So you just never know what the future is going to hold. And that's why I'm so grateful that 8 years ago I said yes. And my other favorite thing about this business is the people that we get to meet and work with on a daily basis. And so Megan's one of them, but my mentor for the past 8 years and a really good friend of mine who I talk to almost every day is Michelle, and she's going to share her story too. And I just think it's so neat to see, we wouldn't know these people if it weren't for our business. So Michelle, will you share your story too?
Hey guys, I'm Michelle. And first of all, I just want to thank all of you guys for supporting Megan and, being on. I know it means so much to her. And, we're sharing our hearts and our stories because that's really what we do. We've had these amazing things happen in our families and we care about other people. And so when you're hearing this, it's because we care. And, those of you that know Megan, you already know she's not a salesperson. Well, I can tell you, Christina and myself are not as well. My background's corporate finance. And I just, I think my journey really started, over 20 years ago. Have you guys ever had an event that changed your life forever? I think most of us have. And for me, I was living down in San Diego. It was, about a year or two before I had my first child, and a girlfriend of mine lost her 3-year-old to cancer. I didn't have kids yet, but I sat in that church. I remember to this day where I sat and I saw that little casket, and it just broke my heart. And little did I know, it honestly changed something in me forever. And then, fast forward a couple years, I have my first kid. And honestly, you guys, for those of you that have kids, you just don't know what love is till you have kids, right? And for those of you that don't have kids, you probably have kids in your life that you love or pets that you love. So you know what I'm talking about. But with that love came this fear. And I didn't really talk about it because it seemed like it was silly. My husband would I knew he would have just been like, Michelle, really? But I was scared that it was kind of like luck of the draw, that this could happen to my kid. And I just, as a parent, you want to keep them healthy and keep them thriving. And for me, we were actually pretty healthy, but I had been researching, what can I do, right? We put the seatbelts on, we put the helmets on, all these things. And I knew everybody knows you're supposed to eat fruits and veg. Everybody knows, but I didn't know the why. I didn't know how it minimized risk, like those seatbelts and those helmets that I insisted they wear. I didn't know how the fruits and veg really minimize the risk. So for me, that gave me hope. But I was a big skeptic. I know there's plenty of people like me. I thought, because Juice Plus is just fruits and veg. I like to say it's God's pharmacy in a capsule or a chewable, right? But I always thought to myself, if man touched what God made, he messed it up. And so I was a skeptic. But I am a science geek, and I looked at the research, and it blew me away. And I know Christina's going to share the research. So, without, further ado, basically, I just wanted to share with you why this started for us. And my kids at the time we got started, because when I heard about this, I thought, wow, that is really quite brilliant. It makes so much sense. But like I said, we didn't really have any major health issues, but it was an issue of the heart for me. And I had done the research. It made total sense. And my kids were about 5 and 6 at the time. And what I can tell you is if you fast forward sometime within the first year, the one thing that I did have wrong with my health was I had seasonal allergies really bad. And, twice a year, I would have to take pharmaceutical drugs for a couple of weeks. And I'm not here to bash pharmaceutical drugs. There's a place, right? But I think we would all agree if we could live a beautiful 100 years thriving life and we never had to take a pharmaceutical drug, we'd be happy about that. And I believe our bodies are designed for that. But the world we live in, and we're going to talk about that tonight, makes it really challenging, which is once again why I was so grateful for Juice Plus. And so about a year into taking it, about this time of year, in fact, when everybody was starting to sneeze here in the Sacramento area, the pollen and everything's really bad. I was like, whoa, I'm fine. I can breathe. And, in 14 years, because this was over 15 years ago now. So in 14 years, I have not taken one over-the-counter med or I haven't taken a prescription med or an over-the-counter for my allergies. And I'm 15 years older, right? My immune system should be going the other way. So you would think, right? That's the norm that we're used to. And I used to also, if I even touched a cat, my eyes would puff up where I could hardly see out of them. No problem, right? So that's immune function. And I know Christina will talk about that research just a little bit. We will try not to make your eyes glaze over with any of that. But that's just, remember, when you hear us talk about Juice Plus, it's just fruits and vegetables, okay? That's all it is. So anyway, let's get started. And Christine, I think you're going to bring up the thing. This is where everybody pray for our technology.
Okay, hold on. Over there. There we go. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, cool.
Hold on a second.
Can Michelle see it?
I knew this might happen. Oh my gosh. See, technology, you've got to love it. It's not letting me. You'd think I would know how to get out of my computer by now. Okay, I so apologize, you guys. All right, let me see. Okay, now I can see it. All right. All right, so anyway, once again, we're just really excited that you're joining us tonight to learn how one simple change can make a huge difference in your health. This information's literally changed everything for me and my family. And I told you about our health journey. My kids, they really, since we started Juice Plus, there were no antibiotics. When they were teenagers, now, okay, they were 5 and 6 at the time when we started. Now they're a junior and a senior in college. I know, I can't believe it. But through even adolescence, when they were in high school, their skin stayed really good. And we're not a perfect family either, like Christina. I mean, I don't know too many people that are, but it's amazing what that did, not only for their immune system, but also for their skin. And honestly, that peace of mind for me, knowing that they were going to go off to college, with that was really powerful. So next slide.
Oh no, look at me. Oh my gosh. Are you
So
everything
while she's trying to figure the slide out, I'm just going to tell you that we have this healthy living community that you guys get to be a part of, whether Juice Plus makes sense to you guys tonight or not. we don't want you to feel like this is about you having to buy anything. We really believe that there's so much value in what we're going to talk about, even if you didn't see the value in, getting that extra nutrition from Juice Plus. So we just, once again, want you to know that. I don't know if that's going to go.
We're good. Can you see
There we go. Okay. So basically we have these free resources for you. Megan can get them for you. Free cookbooks, kids programs, Facebook support groups, and even this monthly online educational. We have a library, you guys, that is so amazing. And and they're not Juice Plus infomercials. They're so great. So let's talk about how you're taking care of yourself. I think we can all agree that our health is made up of at least these 4 core things, right? It seems so complicated to know what to do anymore, right? It's just doesn't seem as easy as it used to be. But if we just eat real food, right? Did it come off a tree, out of the ground, not out of boxes or packages, right? Thinking about coloring your plate, the color of the rainbow, exercise, whatever you'll do. I mean, I used to think it needed to be running and I didn't like running, right? So would I walk? No. I mean, because I thought I needed to run. My point is whatever you like to do it. Just move your body, right? It's so important, not only for our physical body, but for our mental health. Water. I think we can all agree, just getting more water into our body. If you could get your urine to be pretty clear, that's a good sign. And another easy way, like I'll get a water bottle that I really enjoy, I know how much it holds. And so if you take half your body weight in ounces and you try and drink that. So just in my example, if somebody weighed 150 pounds and you divided that in half, that would be 75 pounds. So 75 ounces. This particular bottle, if you guys could see it, is about 25 ounces. So that means in my scenario, I would need to drink 3 of those a day. And it gives me a benchmark. And so I found that to be helpful when I talk with people. And then of course, getting enough sleep and reducing stress, these are big. And usually the stress will keep us from sleeping and, vice versa. I get that. But that's when our body heals. So like when you have the flu and you just can't get out of bed, that's because your body says, hello, I'm going to get your attention right now because I need you to sleep and quit moving, right? And sometimes that's what it takes for us. So reducing stress. This, once again, can take many forms for everybody, whether it's yoga, meditation, prayer, getting outside and walking. Gratitude is one of my favorites. It seems to help me when I'm really stressed and seems to work with my kids a little bit too over the years. So of all the lifestyle changes that you can make, the one that's the most proven to make the biggest impact on your health is to consume a diet rich in fruits and veg. Dr. Sears, he's a famous pediatrician. He says that 75% of all chronic diseases are preventable through good nutrition. I mean, and that is huge. And I know the World Health Organization says the same thing. That information was what gave me hope. That's when I was like, okay, I knew we were eating a lot of fruits and veg, and that was good. And this gave us a way to eat more. Because once again, in our family, and I find many other families, maybe you can count on one hand the things that your family will eat that you'll buy over and over again. And it doesn't always, have the entire rainbow if you're like me. So there are 2 startling trends in our world that are happening today. I think we can all agree that environmental toxins are increasing. It's almost just overwhelming, right? And you can see if you take a minute to look at the picture, or if all you do is turn on the news or look at a magazine or go on Facebook or social media, right? The stuff, it's almost scary, which causes more stress, right? So the other aspect of this is the quality of our food is decreasing, right? You can see the preservatives, the flavor enhancers. It's not like the flavor's not even coming from real food anymore. The emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, GMO. And that's one of the things I love about our company. Juice Plus has been around for 25 years now. All of our products, all these years have been non-GMO, gluten-free, and vegan. And it's not that everybody in our camp is vegan or vegetarian even, right? but we know the power of those things. And, I thought this was really interesting. 80% of our food didn't even exist 75 years ago. Like 80% of what we're buying and eating. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, less nutrients, less, pesticides, all of that. That's okay, Christina. You're totally fine. So this, I think, is a pretty powerful a visual, because basically oxidative stress, this process of just living, creates this concept in our body, this process called oxidation. And that's the same thing as oxidative stress. We have trillions of cells that make up our body, and each one of those gets hit 10,000 times a day. Each one of those trillion cells, if you can think about that, gets hit 10,000 times a day with, the processed food, the stress, the smoking, right? We all know that smoking's bad, but who knew that exercise could actually cause oxidative stress? And I'm not saying exercise is a bad thing, but I always think about it kind of like a thermostat. If you're just living life and think of a fireplace even, you have a fire burning. In each one of those trillions of cells, picture a little fire burning, right? Because they're creating energy. If you're just living life, you're creating these sparks that are these free radicals that can damage your cells, and that's how we get rogue cells and end up with things like cancer. So when you think about those sparks coming out of the fireplace, if they hit your carpet, right, they burn your carpet. Well, that's what's happening in our cells. So when we exercise, we're breathing heavier, so our fires are burning higher. Now that's got a lot of good benefits to it as well, but it's just important to know, like, if you have kids that are hardcore athletes, or you're a hardcore athlete, those recommendations of like the 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables that you're supposed to eat every day, you need to like almost double it, because your body is needing so much more. And that is why we see these elite athletes, when they get into their early 30s, having arthritis and all of these issues, because that oxidative stress. All right. Even flying in an airplane. So and I know I'm kind of beating up on this issue, but this was everything to me. This is what gave me hope, and what made me realize that the person that got the most nutrition in their bodies would win. Right. And that was what I was looking for. And I am not going to be here telling you that if you take Juice Plus, you could never get a chronic disease like cancer. I would never say that. And I'm not also going to say that you take something like Juice Plus and then you never eat fruits and veg. Okay. We're talking about something that bridges the gap in a world that I feel needs it so much. But anyway, so when you fly in an airplane, I didn't know this at the time. My husband flies a ton for work. And I first heard that when you fly from like California to New York, you're getting hit with like 3 chest x-rays of radiation. Okay. And we all know that those chest x-rays that radiation's bad for us, right? That's how much radiation you're getting hit with. And I came back and asked all my friends that were pilots and flight attendants if they knew that. And they were like, oh yeah, we're only allowed, the FAA only allows us to fly so many flights a year. But nobody told my husband that. Okay. And so it's that oxidative stress that it's causing. And I believe that's why people get so sick when they're traveling. And of course, even pregnancy, the extra demand. So wrinkles, that's oxidative stress. So if you take an apple and you cut it in half and you squeeze, and I know a lot of us have played this little game, fun to do with the kids, squeeze a half a lemon on that apple, and one half of it will stay fresher and the other half will oxidize. And that's the wrinkles. So once again, I always say, if we're not as worried about our health, our immune system, because we're already so healthy, most of us, especially us women, tend to be worried more about those wrinkles, and actually how powerful that is, that fruits and vegetables protect against that and slow down the aging process. So remember oxidation, right? Against oxidants, antioxidants. And where do we get antioxidants? We don't get them from proteins or fats. We only get them from fruits and vegetables. And a lot of people have well, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because I always do. Let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
This is something that Time Magazine put out based on research years ago, that the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you that they could save your life. That's why we need to eat the 7 to 13, just the average Joe, right? Needs to eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veg every day, but almost no one does. And certainly not the variety or the consistency we need. And if you think of your fist as a serving, or a deck of cards or the palm of your hand, that is a serving. And like I said, if you're an athlete or your kids are athletes, they need to be getting more in them. And so a lot of people will turn to multivitamins. I know that was something that I looked at one time. And what most people know is that they're not eating enough fruits and veg every day. So 70% of Americans turn to vitamin supplements. But let's talk about the difference between vitamins and real food. A vitamin has, 10 to 50, depending on the vitamin, of isolated nutrients, whereas an apple has like 10,000. So that little writing that you can't read next to the apple, there would be about 40 pages of those same things, because that's how many nutrients. But they work synergistically, right? And the color of the rainbow has, they say, about 25,000 different nutrients, phytochemicals, plant nutrients, minerals, all of these things in apples and vegetables. And the thing that really struck a chord with me once was, I had this research scientist share with me that if you were to eat an apple, you would only get about 6 milligrams of vitamin C readily available for use in your body. 6 milligrams, very small amount. But she said, do you know how much you would have to take in that isolated vitamin C that most of us would have in our cupboard for those times, when we're going to really put a bunch in our body if we feel like we're getting sick, right? You would need like 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams to get that same 6 milligrams into your body. Because it doesn't have the synergy of the whole food, they have to mega dose it. And that is why if anybody's ever taken a multivitamin, their urine's yellow, because so much of it's going out. And of course, then your body has to process all this stuff that it doesn't need. And medical research has shown that vitamins don't work at all, but yet we keep taking them. If you go on to pick your disease, American Heart Association, American Cancer Association, and you look to their link that says how to prevent or reduce any of those, diabetes, doesn't matter, it will say eat a diet high in fruits and veg. That is what you'll see. So most of our vitamins and minerals should come from plant sources, specifically those fruits and veg. So it's really important to eat as many as we can, even beyond the minimum recommendation. Maybe you're someone who does eat a lot of fruits and veg, and that's awesome. And I, encourage you guys to keep doing that. And our hope is that this will motivate you, as it did me all those years ago, to keep doing my best to get that plate colored, right? Anyway, so it's important to know that our fruits and veg today are picked so early. They're transported thousands of miles, so they're just not as nutritionally dense. So that's why we need to eat more today than we ever did. And, like I said, if you're that athlete, the 7 to 13 goes more like to 16 to 18. So I'm once again so thankful that I learned about this simple way to flood our bodies with more nutrition. And that is once again why we share this simple solution with you guys, but just to once again offer that encouragement that eating food, real plants, is so important. So,
there's that. We shared our
pictures. Awesome.
Okay.
We're so cute.
Yeah, we're so cute. That was Megan's brother too, if you didn't already know that. So what's funny is I get to share the good news. I think Michelle just brought down like the hammer. And if you like were me and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't eat anything, and even the stuff I am eating isn't really as good for us as we thought, right? So that's where it just piqued my interest to learn more about what Juice Plus is, and a simple change, because I was overwhelmed at first, and so I just needed to start somewhere. So Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables. We've said it so many times. I think you'll get the difference after this, but it's a way to get 30, more than 30 actually, raw vine ripened fruits and veggies in a capsule or a chewable, and adults or kids can take the chewable, and the chewies are my favorite. They're a good snack. So I want to talk a little bit about what vine ripening is. So we already talked about the produce that's coming to the grocery store it's not as nutrient dense as it could be because they're picking it so early. We recognize this when our green bananas sit on the shelf and ripen magically. Like it's still curious to me how that happens. They're no longer attached to their vine, right? So our produce is vine ripened, and nutrients develop in the last 2 to 3 days of that ripening process. And so after our produce is picked, it's then juiced and dried and put into that capsule or chewable. And they leave on the peels and the leaves and the seeds. So for example, an orange, they'll put the whole orange in there, peel and everything. And 80% of the vitamin C that we are able to absorb comes from the peel. And I don't know about you guys, but we're not eating peels. They're not edible for us. But we get it in our Juice Plus. And the same thing is for our pineapple as well. So we already reiterated this. Juice Plus definitely isn't a substitute for real food. We just want to make it easier to get this wide variety, this rainbow, into our bodies. And then this is literally one of my favorite things to talk about is a shake. And if you've already tried shakes or are familiar with shakes, I literally didn't know what a protein shake was until I was introduced to Juice Plus. I'm very texture sensitive, but these dissolve really easily in water or blend up with any fruit or anything like that. It's, again, all plant-based. And so it's low glycemic, vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free. So whey is actually, if you didn't know this already, whey is a byproduct of some kind of dairy, like the end product of dairy. I don't even know. It's very highly processed, but it is a meat. It's an animal product. So we don't have any of that in our shakes as well. And so it can be used for a meal replacement. Breakfast is what we use it for. It can be a post-workout recovery drink or mid-afternoon snack. And it's safe to give to your kids. So for me, it was really important because we wanted this to be a family. Health is a family affair. Like everyone does it, not just a healthy mommy shake and you kids can eat whatever you want. Or this is healthy, but you can't have it. That really bothers me because then it kind of goes against, if it's healthy, then a child should be able to eat it too. So Juice Plus, our complete shakes are the macronutrition, and Juice Plus in those capsules or gummies, that's micronutrition. And you can think of it this way, where the macronutrition is like the gas in your car. So it makes the car go. And it's carbs, fats, and protein. And the micronutrients are the oil that keeps it running smooth, but you need both. You can't have one without the other. And so in the morning, I mix mine with a banana, a scoop of peanut butter, a little bit of cinnamon and almond milk, and some ice. And it is like daily, I crave it. So when you combine all of that, you are getting quite the rainbow. This is 40, almost 50 plants every day. So there is 3 things that make Juice Plus really, really unique. Like we said, again, it is food. It's not a vitamin, and it has a nutrition label. And that perked my, really? I didn't even know there was a difference. But it has the same label that you would find on the back of a bag of frozen strawberries in your freezer in your grocery store. So the government even considers Juice Plus food. It is NSF certified, which means a private company comes in and makes sure that what's on the label is inside the product. And they stringently test for pesticides, mold, bacteria, stimulants, toxins. And Juice Plus is safe, like I said, for pregnant, nursing moms, children, elderly, athletes, and even cancer patients. And my brother-in-law went through some pretty serious cancer, chemotherapy and bone marrow transplant, and has Juice Plus was his support through all of that, and that's pretty amazing. So Juice Plus is the most thoroughly researched nutritional product in the world. There's over 38 published studies. They're peer-reviewed medical journals, and there's still more on the way. So I'm going to just touch really briefly on the research. So what sets us apart is that there's over 20 years of research by well-known institutions like Yale and Sydney, Australia, MD Anderson, which is a cancer institute. And these are gold standard, randomized, double-blind, placebo tests on the product itself in humans. I read that funny because the list is pretty specific, and it's really important that we know that, because that's the highest level of research that we could have. This is really fun too. If you ask Siri on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, you can ask Siri, what is the most researched nutritional product in the world? And just see what comes up. So this is what the research has found, and I'm just going to emphasize, you can read this, but the one I like to focus on is that it protects DNA. And we talked about, what free radical damage does, and that those are precursors for cancer. And so I lost my mom to cancer 10 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. But I would have loved to known about Juice Plus at that time, because who knows what it would have done through supporting her through that cancer. But just knowing that I can get Juice Plus in my body to protect my DNA means that her story doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be mine or for my families as well. And then the other one that I love emphasizing is that it really helps your body with the inflammatory response. So it's reducing inflammation. And as a physical therapist, I see arthritis all the time. I don't work with that population anymore, but it is one of the most chronic things I would see all the time. And as much as we want to take anti-inflammatories, it never really addressed the problem. And so this is where research shows that we can actually affect that, and it will reduce that inflammatory response and reduce systemic inflammation and things like that. Okay, and so our family takes advantage of this. If you have kids, you are eligible for this as well. But you can get Juice Plus for free for any child between the ages of 4 and college age, undergrad student, full-time college undergrad student, for up to 4 years. And we're walking proof of this. My kids are, like I said, healthy. They hardly ever miss any school. And the research, just by answering some questions every time you get your Juice Plus products, show this, that they're kids are visiting the doctor less, and then parents are missing less work because of it. And then they're drinking more water and just making healthier choices. And so that just gives me as a parent peace of mind. And then because we want to help people eat more fruits and vegetables, this is a really cool way to be able to grow it in your backyard. I have one, and my kids help me, and it's ready to go. I haven't put plants in it yet, but we've done it every year for the past 5 years. And it's so cool to see your plants grow from your backyard, and then bring them in, put them in a smoothie or a salad, and really see that your kids are developing these taste buds for some of these things, and they're seeing actually how plants grow. And so what it does, the Tower Garden is aeroponic, so there's no soil, and that also means that it uses 98% less water. It's 90% less space because it goes vertically. It yields 30% more produce, and it grows 3 times faster, and that's actually been researched. So it's pretty cool. And then we've recently added one more plant-based. It's the first of its kind, omega, and it is a spectrum of omegas. So you get 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and they cut out the middle fish. So we just go straight to the plants or the algae and draw out those omegas, and that's what the fish eat, and that's why it made sense to consume the fish. But if you just cut all that out, then you don't get that fishy burp. And then really quickly, I'm just going to touch on this program that I've been doing for a really long time, and it's called the Shred 10. And you're not shredding 10 pounds in 10 days or anything like that. We just want to help shred these bad habits that aren't serving you and replace them with healthier habits, and do that for 10 days straight. And then, kind of revisit that cyclically. So every month we just revisit those 10 days and really be good about staying on those restrictions, but learning those new habits. And it's really changed our health, and I love it. So if you want any more information about that, just talk to Megan. And I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle as we close out.
Yeah, we're just going to, wrap it up. And what Megan and Christina and I have shared with you tonight, as Christina went over the research, we in our own bodies, in what we shared with you about our own journeys, we've seen that research lived out. And so you may be wondering, okay, so what is this? How much does it cost? And you can see on the screen, the thing that I recommend, I think the most as foundational for our health, because of course you heard my story, is what we call the trio, the one where you get the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries. And once again, you can add a child to the Children Health Study. That's the one way, the Family Healthy Start program. And you see that $2.38 a day. And the way I wrapped my mind around this, because originally I was comparing it to a vitamin. I knew it was food, but I couldn't get over the fact that it looked like a vitamin, right? And if you were to buy it in the grocery store, you'd actually buy it in the produce section. So if you pictured pushing your grocery cart into the produce section and piling in 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries, and going and checking out and asking yourself, what would that cost? I think everybody's going, a lot, right? Certainly not $2.38 a day. And because in California, we don't pay tax on food, I think it's the only thing we don't pay tax on, but we don't pay tax on our Juice Plus because it's food, that nutrition label that Christina talked about. So just like I said, the $2.38 a day, that includes shipping, and it comes straight to you, and the company allows you to just pay for it each month as you eat it. And I love that. And so if this is something that you're interested in, then, you can join us as a preferred customer, where you can get your Juice Plus shipped directly to you and pay for it each month. If you're like me and Christina and Megan, the way we chose to do it was to, become a healthy living partner with the company. And so I think for me, I told you guys, my background was corporate finance. I was not looking to do this as a business at all. Was absolutely not going to. But what happened was I did the math. I was like, oh, well, I could, save a little bit of money on our own product, sure. But what happened was I kept hearing my friends say, oh, God, the kids are sick, or mom got cancer. And I'd be like, oh, you should take a look at this. I really think it could benefit you. And so I had all these people that were wanting to benefit from getting it into their body. So if you've been sitting here tonight and you can even think of just 2 people that could benefit from flooding their body with all this nutrition, then, for just a $50 investment, you would earn a couple $100 back right away. You'd get the non-retail pricing, and you'd put yourself at a 6% savings on your Juice Plus for life. No minimums, no quotas, no inventory. So whatever we can do to help support you in your process, that's what we're here for. And once again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. I know we have one of our corporate guys is going to be here next week locally. If you want to learn more about the company behind Juice Plus, that allowed me actually to give up my corporate job and raise my kids and stay home. I know that that's not what I was looking for, maybe not what you're looking for, but how awesome that's been for our family. What a huge blessing. And I know that most people are just really thrilled to earn just an extra $500 a month, because that can really change lives. Pay for the car payment, right? Support the mortgage. So if you want to learn more about it, we invite you to join us. And I don't know if you have a slide here for our conference.
I didn't.
But the last thing I'll tell you is we have our International Leadership Conference here actually in our backyard in April. Megan can get you the information on that. And we've got people coming from all over the world, thousands of people from all over the world, Australia, Dubai, and we have it right here. So once again, We love the company with the heart, the company behind Juice Plus, and we encourage you guys to join us if you want to learn more. So thank you guys again for being here tonight and supporting Megan. We really appreciate it, and everybody have a great night.